On the Ball kicks off with World Cup qualifiers from South America. Into the first half with football news, half-time and Spanish League action. The World Cup feature with the colour of traditional Korean lanterns. And just before the final whistle, a feature on Italian Serie A team Chievo Verona in this week's On the Ball. Time for South American World Cup qualifiers as we get closer to knowing the final places in the draw. Brazil in the yellow shirts were away to Bolivia in La Paz, and they took the lead in the 25th minute when Edelson picked up a loose ball on the edge of the penalty area and fired a left-foot shot past goalkeeper Soria. However, Brazil's nightmare began in the 43rd minute when central defender Juan slipped on the uneven pitch and allowed leader Paz to steal the ball and fire a low shot past Marcos, 1-1. In the 70th minute, Julio Cesar took a speculative free kick from near the touchline, 40 metres from goal, and Marcos misjudged the flight of the ball and it floated over his head into the net. Bolivia, who lost their previous two games by 5-1 scorelines, added the third goal 2 minutes from time. Substitute Jose Alfredo Castillo collapsed after colliding with Cafu, and Valdivieso finished Brazil off with 2 minutes to go. Ecuador in the yellow were at home to Uruguay, both teams in the running to qualify. The previously innocuous Uruguay attack won a 44th minute penalty. Nicolas Oliveira appeared to throw himself deliberately at Giovanni Espinosa. Oliveira calmly converted the penalty to the right of Cavellos. Ecuador started the second half in desperate fashion, but settled down after playmaker Alex Aguinaldo was brought on in the 58th minute. The equaliser came in the 73rd minute when Aguinaldo curled in a left-footed cross which was headed in by Caviedes. Uruguay ran out of energy and it was only a matter of time before the celebrations began. Ecuador booked a place in the World Cup for the first time ever. The 1-1 draw also guaranteed Paraguay a place in the finals. South American minnows Venezuela continued their amazing transformation when they took on Paraguay in San Cristobal. A misunderstanding between fullback Claudio Morel Rodriguez and Aldo Bobadilla gifted the ball to Rubeth Moran, who scored into an empty net in the first minute. Noriega hooked in the second in the 22nd minute. In between, Francisco Arce briefly reduced the lead with a questionable penalty awarded from a foul on Hugo Brizuela. Hector Gonzalez side-footed home from close range. Paraguay have qualified for the finals, joining Argentina, Ecuador and Brazil. Venezuela left their run too late. Over in Japan, the Saitama Stadium was opened with a friendly between Japan and Italy. This is one of 10 Japanese venues for the World Cup. Both teams lined up in front of 61,000 spectators. The pitch appeared to be heavy, and large divots appeared during the game. Japan took an early lead when Arsenal's Inamoto dispossessed Italian captain Cannavaro and floated the ball into the path of Yanagisawa. Sparked by the arrival of Doni and Zanetti, Italy gradually took control of the second half as the influence of Ono and Inamoto in the midfield began to wane. Totti's shot was blocked by Miyamoto. Totti's corner kick was saved by keeper Sagotto. Atalanta midfielder Donny crashed home a 51st minute equaliser from 6 metres. Donny, who came on for the start of the second half, was first to the loose ball after the Japanese defence failed to clear a corner from Alessandro Del Piero. Del Vecchio shaved the bar with a right foot drive as gaps started to appear in Japan's defence. As hosts, both Japan and Korea qualify for the World Cup. England captain David Beckham has relieved the pressure is off to qualify for the World Cup in Japan next year, allowing the team to concentrate on the build-up to winning its second World Cup.
No, I think, as soon as you put the England shirt on, and you're walking out on the pitch, you're G'd up enough to play in any game, whether it's a friendly or a World Cup qualifier. But I'm definitely glad that we're through to Japan now and we're not facing two World Cup qualifiers.
Bike racers resting before the Brazilian Grand Prix played some soccer on the ground of Brazil's most famous club, Flamengo, in Gavia, in the residential south area of Rio. They faced a select opposition, which included basketballer Oscar Schmidt, the veteran of 5 Olympic Games. Jeremy McWilliams and Leon Haslam decided to sit it out. Brazil's Alex Barros, number 22, was one of the most enthusiastic players. FIFA Secretary-General Michel Zenraffinen has announced a proposal to put advertising on referees' shirts. From January 2002, all members of FIFA have the right to use advertisements on referees' T-shirts under the same restrictions that are applied in Spain. It will only be authorised on a national level, not an international basis. Liverpool manager Gerard Houllier left hospital after undergoing 11 hours of open heart surgery. Assistant manager Phil Thompson has been in charge of the team.
He's in great condition. I know Mr. Rashid has said his progress has been remarkable.
Houllier welcomed the challenge of Liverpool's tough group in the Champions League second round.
Yeah, you can imagine. He's quite excited about it. You can imagine, Gerard, how he feels when you mention the names Barcelona, Roma, Galatasaray. It's fantastic.
Doctors say he has made such progress from his open heart surgery that he's been allowed home. English soccer fans are still waiting to find out whether there'll be the first ever strike by English League players. The strike is about the distribution of the sizable television rights fees paid to the league.
It's been out of our hands from the beginning, really. So, as I say, hopefully it doesn't come to that, because I don't think anybody really wants that course of action to happen.
On the ball's regular visit to La Liga in Spain, and we start with Atletico Bilbao in the red and white against their Basque rivals Alavés. Atletico came close to opening the scoring after just 2 minutes. Tico quickly made amends for his earlier miss when he fired an unstoppable shot into the top corner in the 17th minute. Five minutes later, Ismail Urzaiz made it 2-0 when he headed home his 6th goal of the season from a Santiago Ezquerro cross. Alavés almost reduced the deficit when Jordi Cruyff rounded Bilbao keeper Lafuente, but Lorenzo blocked his shot. The match saw a flurry of yellow cards, including one for Carmona moments before half-time. The Alavés defender was lucky not to be sent off after chopping Tico down. 10 minutes into the second half, Atletico were reduced to 10 men when Felipe received his second yellow card for a foul on Vuko. 2 minutes later, Alavés pulled a goal back. Morcellin heading home after Ruben Navarro's shot rebounded off the woodwork. The visitors surged forward, but the 10 men of Atletico Bilbao defended valiantly to the end. None more so than Lorenzo, who was felled by a fierce goal-bound shot from Morcellin. Alavés missed the chance of going top of the Spanish league with the defeat. Battle of the Spanish heavyweights. Real Madrid in white against Barcelona at the Bernabeu. Mark Overmars eased past the Real defence to collect the through ball from Patrick Kluivert, only to slip as he shaped to shoot. They struggled to keep possession in front of a 75,000 full house in the early stages as Barcelona broke forward from the first whistle. Real took the lead when they attacked with conviction for the first time in the match. Steve McManaman ran onto Zinedine Zidane's pass and crossed to Raul at the far post. The Spanish striker saw his header blocked by Francesco Coco, but Morientes reacted to the loose ball to head past Roberto Bonanno. The goal gave Real a huge lift and Barcelona immediately lost their grip on the game. Barcelona fan and tennis star Arantxa Sanchez Vicario watched on. Rivaldo's second half free kick struck Kluivert and ballooned over the bar. Casillas then saved point blank from a Gabri header. Real goalkeeper Iker Casillas did well to save a clever near-post shot from the Dutch international. But a second Real goal began to look more and more likely as Barca pressed forward. It arrived 3 minutes into injury time, with Figo scoring against his former club for the first time since his $56 million move from the Nou Camp in the summer of 2000. Real's win reignited their Spanish title defence, dragging them from 15th at the start of play to 7th. La Liga leaders Deportivo were looking to maintain their position when they took on Osasuna. The Deportivo manager was unhappy when Osasuna took the lead on 9 minutes. Australian striker John Aloisi combined with Lionel Ganchido to put the ball past Jose Molina. However, that only served to spark a merciless comeback from the 2000 champions Deportivo. Diego Tristan scored twice, the first placing the ball between the legs of Osasuna goalkeeper Juan Carlos Anzu. A few minutes later, Tristan ran to a cross from Victor Sanchez to beat Anzu from close range. Veteran defender Donato added a third after a well-orchestrated free kick. Jose Emilio Amavisca completed the first half route, beating Anzu with a clever chip to make the score 4-1. The 4 goals had come in a 20-minute burst. The pace dropped after the break, but Osasuna hadn't given up, and Ganchido hit the crossbar. Ivan Rosado's shot went into touch. Roy McKay added a fifth for Deportivo on 68 minutes after being put through by a Sergio Gonzalez pass. The result gave Depor 23 points from 11 games. 2 clear of Valencia after their 2-1 win at home to bottom team Rayo Vallecano. The skyline of the South Korean capital Seoul has been brightened by 10,000 lanterns at the opening of a festival which is part of the build-up to the 2002 World Cup to be co-hosted with Japan. Beating drums echoed across Seoul's Namsan Mountain in a traditional bid to rid the city of the evil spirits that might hinder the successful hosting of next year's World Cup. 3 huge lanterns of the 2002 World Cup mascots were watching over the performance in downtown Seoul. Seoul City spokesperson Kim Soon-hee. We've organised this Lantern Festival of the Global Community 2001 to wish for the successful 2002 FIFA World Cup and to present scenic night views of Seoul. About 10,000 lanterns from 8 countries have participated in this event. Aimed at providing a venue of global unity 7 months before the international soccer competition, the 6-day event consists of various displays, music and dance performances.
I pray for successful World Cup next year. Yeah.
While big lotus lanterns floated around in a pond, visitors were encouraged to participate, lighting smaller lanterns in the form of soccer balls. The football theme dominates the show, with soccer players, soccer balls and World Cup mascots all depicted in lantern form. Japan, China, the Philippines, Vietnam, the United States, Mexico and Senegal have participated, contributing traditional lanterns from their cultures. Visitors had the chance of trying portable lanterns which had been used by their ancestors. Visitors were also encouraged to participate in making a cup-sized wishing lantern. They made their own lanterns and wrote down their wishes on them to hang on a large dome-shaped lantern parasol. Young couples and children enjoyed walking around exhibition sites with lanterns of birds, animals and boats at Namsan Folk Village. After hanging a small lantern, others said their wish is to see a successful World Cup and that South Korea is among the finalists. Verona in northern Italy and the small suburb of Chievo, an unlikely setting for a football team that's taken Serie A by storm this year. There was much excitement last year when, after just 16 years, Chievo left behind the regional amateur league and entered the ranks of Italy's elite Serie A. The drinkers in the bar Pantalona still can't quite believe it. The Pantalona has always been the home base for supporters of Chievo, but now the Pantalona has become the most famous sports bar in Italy, as their team head Serie A after 9 games. Chievo fan Fiorenzo Viviani. There is a great deal of emotion. There are those who dream about winning the title and others who say they may not succeed. But the important thing is they keep playing as they are. Bar owner Augusta Ottolini. They're great and they deserve to be where they are. They work hard and are a very united team and modest. I hope they never lose their humility. Across the fields at the Veronella Training Centre, there's little sign of success going to their heads. And you get the impression that coach Luigi Del Neris, a man who has served his time in the lower divisions, would give short shrift to anyone getting too big for their boots. Before every game, he reminds the players that their opponents are better than them. Left-winger Christian Manfredini has been a key part of Chievo's rise to the top of Serie A in their first season in the top flight. Most of the Italian teams are stronger than us. Our strength is that we have continued to play well like last year, and after 9 matches we have managed to win nearly all of them. I don't think this is just down to luck. 31-year-old midfielder Eugenio Carini is one of the veterans in the team. I don't get annoyed when people speak about fairy tales because I understand that people look at us like a small provincial team that has just arrived in Serie A. But the points we have achieved through merit. We know we're not Cinderella. Del Neris's concentration on traditional virtues such as hard work, running, solid defending, width and good passing have made something of a mockery of the endless debates about formations and tactics at the bigger clubs. Manager Luigi Del Neris. Every Sunday we are extremely motivated. It's our first year in Serie A, and whichever team we are up against, they're stronger than us because we are the last arrivals. We are going through an important moment, both in football and personal terms. The story of Chievo's remarkable rise, backed by the money of a local confectionery firm, has captured the hearts of the Italian public, who have always enjoyed a romantic tale. And the newspapers here talk of the miracle of Chievo, of a soccer fairy tale, and of the Cinderella Club. For those who look beyond the obvious romance of the club's rise against the odds, Chievo's philosophy of being small but thinking big seems to be the key to their success. Our final action is also from Spain and the King's Cup. The knockout competition open to all league clubs in Spain. Third division Figueres was up against the mighty Barcelona. Despite the absence of Rivaldo, Patrick Kluivert and Frank de Boer, Barcelona still fielded a strong lineup against Figueres, including teenage striker Saviola and speedy winger Marc Overmars. The first division side found it tough from the start against fellow Catalans Figueres. Surprisingly, it was Figueres who dominated the first half, with Arnoux outstanding up front. The striker caused a lot of trouble, especially for right-back Puyol and goalkeeper Reina. The rugged third division outfit hounded their illustrious neighbours throughout and came close to taking the lead 10 minutes before half-time. Overmars and Gerard both spurned good opportunities midway through the second half, and the tie went into extra time. Garrido struck in the first minute, and the shot took a deflection off Puyol before ballooning past keeper Reina to secure a memorable 1-0 win for Figueres. Barcelona, who became increasingly desperate as extra time wore on, could only stand and watch as their opponents were carried off the pitch at the end by their ecstatic fans. Barcelona joined 7 other First Division sides who fell at the first hurdle in this year's competition. Cup holders Real Zaragoza, 1999 winners Espanyol, Real Sociedad, Tenerife, Sevilla and Real Betis also made early exits against lower-ranked opponents. Next week, more World Cup action and features, league highlights from Europe and all the football news. So make sure you stay on the ball.